Each year in Sweden, there are around 1,800 construction site accidents, some fatal. It is both tragic and impossible to accept. Naturally, we apply Vision Zero here at Thage. A good and safe work environment is fundamental, because our ultimate aim is you should come home from work in the same condition as when you got there. The key to a safer work environment lies in the small, daily routines. Maintaining order is not only good for quality and profitability, but also creates a safer workplace. That's why no one person is more important than anyone else. Everyone's views are valuable when we put our heads together to decide how to work and create a safer work environment. Maintain order for a safer construction site. There's a lot that can go wrong at a construction site. That's why we try to figure out what risks can arise and how to eliminate them as early as the design phase. Unfortunately, it is not possible to eliminate all risks. An action program must be created for the risks that cannot be designed away. It must then be reported in the health and safety plan. So all measures can then be reviewed by the contractors when they draw up a plan of work. The plan of work must also include a risk analysis. The results of the plan of work must be submitted to the Construction Building Work Environment Coordinator for execution, Base U, in good time. That's to say, by no later than the week before the coordination meeting. As the work is performed, if you discover that any type of protection is missing or you see any other danger, you are obliged to say, "Stop. Let's pull the handbrake," to make sure that none of your coworkers can be harmed. You must then contact site management and the health and safety officer. Create an action program that is incorporated into the health and safety plan. Risk analysis prior to each work stage. Even though you work under time constraints, it's important that you never thumb your nose at safety by taking shortcuts or chances. Always use the personal protective equipment. No matter how careful you are, accidents and incidents will still occur. Report these, even if they seem small and insignificant. Because at Thage, we want to report no matter how small and insignificant the incident may seem. In this way, we can continuously improve safety at the company. Everyone benefits in the long run. Avoid shortcuts. Think before you act. If you will be operating a machine, crane, or lift, or working with some other specialized task, you must always present your training certificate to site management. You must also be able to present your operator's permit from your employer. Remember that you must always have your ID-06 card with you when you're at the construction site. The ID-06 must also be registered at the site. In addition, you must always remember to log in and out using the electronic attendance recorder. You will also receive correct information from site management regarding what construction site rules apply to you in particular. The construction site distribution plan, called the APD plan, will be presented as part of this construction site introduction. Evidence of specialist training must be provided. Construction site introduction, a requirement. APD plan. All Thage construction sites must be fenced in to prevent outsiders from entering the area. It is therefore important that the gates, fence, and the like are not left open during breaks. Also, close lids and doors of material containers, portable toilet units, and portable crew units, not just to prevent uninvited guests from dropping in, but also to prevent loss of heat. Safety and security rules must be posted on boards at the entrance. Site management must be informed of all deliveries to the construction site. This is particularly important when there is limited space at the site. Remember that each contractor must take responsibility for their own materials. making sure that they are protected from wind and weather. Remember that materials that are not anchored could blow away. At the end of each working day, everyone has to clean up their own workspace. Cleaning equipment will be available. Each contractor is responsible for their own materials. Clean up and sort the waste. At all of our construction sites, you must wear a hard hat with chin strap, safety shoes, and safety boots with toe cap and nail guard. Keep in mind that the chin strap must always be fastened under your chin. High-vis clothing must always be worn on the upper body. Under certain circumstances, you can wear a regular t-shirt, but it must be in the company's color and have the company's logo on it. You must always wear high-vis clothing. The only time you may wear a high-vis vest instead of high-vis clothing is if your high-vis clothing is not working for some reason and you're waiting for replacements. If you wear a vest while working, there is a risk that you will get injured if the vest catches on something. Otherwise, high-vis vests are for visitors only. Hard hats must be date stamped and replaced when the best before date has expired, or if it has been subjected to a hard blow or hard impacts. Shoes must be whole and fit for purpose. Talk to your employer if you need additional protective equipment like goggles or gloves. Personal protective equipment is mandatory. Safety equipment can be scaffolding for work at a facade or ceiling. It can also be a rip blade on a power saw or the protective railing along the edge of the roof. Basically, it's anything that prevents you from tripping, falling, dropping, tipping over, or getting crushed. In other words, it's anything designed to prevent you from getting hurt. If you discover that any safety equipment is missing, not properly fitted, deformed, or defective, you must inform your coworkers and make them aware of the problem, or take some other action to make sure no one is hurt. Then, notify site management and write an incident report. Take the initiative. Safety equipment that is particularly important is fall protection, like scaffolding. It must be erected by someone with the proper training and, of course, following the information in the assembly instructions. Scaffold assemblers, site management, and those who will be working on the scaffolding must agree on how it will be erected and what it will be used for. It is also important that there are no large gaps in the scaffolding. By large gaps, we mean anything bigger than 30 centimeters, which is roughly the size of a shoe. To help in this, Thage has developed an SOP called Takeover of Scaffolding. Another type of fall protection is protective railing with top guardrail, center guardrail, and toe board. Inspect the fall protection. There is a lot of dust at a construction site. To prevent and minimize the spread of dust, it must be reduced at the source of spread as much as possible. Please use a vacuum extractor when drilling or the like. It may also be a good idea to wash down the dust with water. If this is not possible, you must use an extractor, ionizer, or similar equipment. Prevent the spread of dust. Noise is around us all the time, especially at a construction site. This is not good in the long run. So, you must try to reduce the noise. You can do this by taking precautions, like screening off certain areas. Always wear hearing protection. Also remember that radio and audio devices may only be used if approved by site management. Help reduce the noise. If a fire spreads, it could not only destroy the entire building, but also take the life of everyone working there. So, fire protection at the construction site is especially important. Because the site is constantly changing, you must stay up to date on where evacuation routes, fire extinguishers, and first aid kits are located. These must be clearly marked. This information will be provided by site management and is also found in the APD plan. In order to perform hot work, you must have approval from the permit officer of the project. Information on this is found in the health and safety plan. And if you are a smoker, you are only allowed to smoke outside. Information on fire protection, especially important. If you discover that a machine, cable, lighting, or any other electrical device is not working, you must make sure it gets repaired immediately. But electrical repair work may only be carried out by an authorized person with the proper training. Even if you think you know what the problem is, you are not allowed to fix it yourself. An improper repair could have very serious consequences. Electrical repair work may only be carried out by authorized personnel. There are many chemical products at the construction site, and for each product, there must be a safety data sheet, SDS. This indicates what to do if there is a leak or other kind of chemical accident. The safety data sheet also contains information about how the product should be sorted for recycling. If you take a new chemical product to the site, you must also take its SDS with you. Safety data sheets are kept in a chemicals binder at the site manager's office, and everyone at the site must know where they can find that binder. If you don't know where it is, ask. Always make sure you know where to find the chemicals binder. Drinking alcohol or taking drugs at the site is strictly forbidden. You are also not allowed to come to the construction site under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Any person who breaks this rule will be ejected from the site and sent home by their employer. It is also the employer's responsibility to make sure any employee with a drug or alcohol problem gets treatment. Alcohol and drugs are forbidden. What happens if you don't follow the conduct rules and safety regulations? For your first offense, you will receive a written reprimand. Your supervisor will be contacted, and you will be given information on what rule was broken. For a second offense, you will be issued a warning. On this occasion, the co-determination representatives, MB, and the human resources manager will also be informed about what happened. If you are not an employee of Thage, you may be immediately ejected from the construction site and replaced with a new worker. If you commit a third offense, there will be negotiation on what action to take. You can either be terminated or transferred. If you are not an employee of Thage, you will be ejected from the construction site and replaced with a new worker. Conduct rules and safety regulations must be followed. The consequences of failing to follow the rules and regulations may seem harsh, but the foundation of our actions is our concern for your well-being, because we care about you, your family, and your coworkers. It all boils down to what we said at the beginning. You should come home from work in the same condition as when you got there. Well, maybe a bit wearier.